Hey, what up, yo? You already know what time it is, baby. Conversation with the stars, hosted by yours truly, Uncle Black, aka Dimane wa Vayali Diamond. You're never the main man. So, Fandak, I got my sister. See you. Without wasting any time, let me just get it on so that we can get it going. This one is a legend, my brother. I'm telling you, she's a legend. Alright, let me just quickly. But we can get the interview going on real quick without wasting any time. Yeah, let's go, baby. It's going to be a great day. We're going to hear some great stories. We're going to get inspired. Be up, man. Hi, my sister. How are you?
I'm alright, and can you see me?
You okay?
I'm well. My phone is doing funny things. I can't see the circle where your face is supposed to be, but can you see me?
Yeah, I can see you. I can see you.
I keep saying go live. I keep accepting, but I don't know what it's doing. But okay, if you can see me and you're happy, we can proceed. I'll just
Yeah.
let you know if anything goes weird.
Man. Like, first of all, like, you good where you at? Like, you okay?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. I can't complain. And you?
Alright, I'm good. I'm good. So, like, I don't want to jump straight into the music. We want to, like, know you, the real you, okay? So we're
Okay.
going to take it from the beginning. Let's get to know, like, first of all, like, the kind of childhood you had. Like, you grew up in Joburg, right?
Yes, I grew up in uh a township actually called Ennerdale. Yeah, spent most of my life there. I just left very recently, like just before COVID hit the world was when I left Ennerdale. But yeah, it was it was hard, but it was also good. Um,
Okay.
yeah, yeah. Yeah. Is there anything specific you want to know about my childhood? I'm getting my
I
coffee.
just want to know. Okay, I just want to know, like, the environmental challenges you had, like, as a child growing there.
Okay, so it's predominant. It's like a colored and black community. So yeah, they had no exposure to white people except for on TV kind of thing. Um, so we saw them on the boat. What was it? The Bold and the Beautiful and Days of Our Lives. My goodness. So I'm showing you how old I am. Shh, don't say anything. Um, so there's that, and then yeah, like my mom was a single mom. My dad was kind of in and out of home. So my dad's Zulu and my mom's colored. So I'm exactly what Annadale is in one body. So yeah, so dad was away, and mom raised me alone, and she's a nurse. She's recently gone back to work, which is incredible. Because she went into retirement, so she went back to work. But anyway, so I had a lot of like cousins and aunts and uncles come through from mom's side, excuse me. And like, so I had a very sort of unstable, if you will, now that I think about it, family and upbringing. And I learned pretty quickly to take care of myself because there's nobody to really look after you. I mean, you're from a black household, so I think you understand you are washed, you went to school, we got uniform on your body. Did you do your homework? Did you eat? Go play in the street lifestyle. So I grew up kind of in that kind of space. There's a lot of times where we had to stretch groceries, and Togo. I don't know what you call it in
Yeah,
Sesotho.
yeah, I
Like
know it.
porridge, like mealie meal porridge.
Yeah,
When it's
motor.
thick, when it's thick. When it was thick,
Yeah.
we were boiling. There's times when it's just like soup, it's just water. And you have to eat that. So by the time by the time you leave
Yeah.
for school, you're like starving. But
Ah, ah.
I never went to bed hungry. I was also I was a very sort of introverted child. I guess I still am somewhat of an introvert, and I deal well with being alone. So I had a lot of imaginary friends. I was also bullied a lot. And it was weird because the reason I was bullied, one of the reasons I think, yeah, one of them, is because I was this colored child that could speak Zulu. And they were like, And I'm like, what?
Oh,
For
really?
example. Yes, like
Yeah.
even at school, like the black children were like, this is weird. Like, why is this colored child speaking Zulu? And then the colored children were like, "Hoekom kan jy kind nou die taal praat?" And I'm just like, why is it detail also? You know what I mean? It was just
Yeah.
weird. So there was that, and then I was really good at
This is
sports and
crazy.
stuff. It was weird. Like I was really good at
Damn.
like sports and stuff. I was really good at art, but we didn't really have art. Because you draw. That's what
Yeah,
that was
yeah,
art.
yeah,
You drawing
yeah.
for yourself
That's
because you're
hard.
bored, or you
Yeah.
have to draw a tooth for your biology thing, whatever it is.
Yeah,
So you good at
I
that.
know.
Yeah.
So
So
what did you
yeah, I mean, sorry.
makes me wonder, what did you want to be? Like, what was your childhood dream?
There are so many things I wanted to be. I mean, I wanted to be a fashion designer because I could draw really well.
Ooh,
And I made a couple
okay.
of garments. There's like, I had this, what do you call it? Like is it a flip file? Ooh, wow. Yeah, I
Okay.
had a flip file with like my designs in, and there were a couple of girls who made stuff for like our grade 7 graduation thing. So they made it.
Okay.
There's a girl who made a dress, and there's another one a few years
Wow.
later who made one for like our confirmation, and that was very Xhosa inspired. So it was interesting. So I could have done it. That was one thing, and I was also super good. I was really, really good with geography. So I wanted to be a climatologist as well. Um,
So, so Zion is asking down here, do you still draw?
I don't actually like. I've draw with words now. I can't even see. I feel like I'm missing out so much, guys. Because like, if only you could see my screen. I'm just seeing. You see this part. You see where my fingers are. That's
Yeah.
the only part of myself I can see. There's nothing else on
Okay.
screen.
Should I
But
like
it's fine.
let you out and
Let's continue. Let's continue. Don't worry.
okay.
But yeah.
Okay. Okay, fine. So like which one came first, like between poetry and music or like modeling as well?
Um. One, I never thought I was pretty. It took me very
Okay.
long to be like, okay, I'm lookable. I don't look like a scorable. So it's not bad, this face. So thank you for the face, Lord. Um, and mom and dad.
Beautiful.
Thank you so much. But it still feels weird for me to say thank you because I didn't make the face, you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
I think I could always sing, but nobody paid attention to my voice because I grew up in a community that likes big voices. So
Oh,
like a
yeah.
Mariah Carey voice or a Adele voice or a
Yeah.
Beyonce voice. You know, they big. And my voice is not big, so nobody really paid attention to my voice except for in church, which makes sense because we pray and we don't need to be shouting all the time to praise the Lord. You know what I mean?
That's an excuse.
I mean, there's a
Ah,
lot. I mean, you can praise the Lord in whatever way you wanna. If you're the kind of person
yeah,
that is a church person, for sure. But there's also moments
yeah,
of like softness that were needed, and I was given the soft songs. You know what I mean? At
yeah.
church.
Besides, it would be
Yeah,
boring to have like big voices only. Like nah, 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 nah.
and that's okay. So yeah, I don't think much of my voice, but I could always sing. And then I started writing poems when I was gonna turn 16. So just about 15 years old, going on 16. And I started writing poems in answer to someone bullying me on the street. They were making fun of my name. As you know, it's a whole story on its own. So people were on my case about my name, and I was just like, "Excuse me." I remember I answered them in rhyme, and I'm like, "Oh, I might be onto something here." Um, and then I started playing with words, and I've been writing poems for a very long time, ever since. So yeah, I think I easily write a poem a day. So the music then came after the poetry because I told you about my family, so it was in and out. I had
Yeah,
cousins in and out of my life and aunts in and out of my life, mom at
yeah.
work all the time. So there was a stage when it was full house again. So we're in a 3-bedroom house. It's a small little space and we 10 people and a baby. So it was crazy. at this
Ooh,
point,
yeah.
and I was very sad. And my mom had to go overseas for work because she wasn't getting enough money to take care of 10 people, send me to university. So
Yeah.
I quit. I was studying law at the time, so I had to quit, and I was smart. To not to say that I'm dumb now, I'm still smart, but like just family circumstances got to me in such a way that I couldn't get like the third bursary in a row, because I got a bursary for first year, bursary for second year, because I was smart.
Oh,
I
okay.
am smart.
Smart.
But
Really
like my
smart.
second year performance wasn't good enough for me to get a bursary for the third year. So I quit. I was studying law.
Oh.
Woo! Yeah, I missed that one. Thank you, Lord. And like my cousin came through. My cousin came. I bought the guitar because I wanted to learn how to play, because I thought it would be
Yeah.
interesting to learn how to play guitar. And I could write poems, but I could never write songs because they were all over the place. Like I'd have 17 melodies for one song, and I'm like, it's crazy. There's no way anyone's gonna want to listen to this. So I
Yeah.
got the guitar, and my cousin's like, "You're playing guitar and you can write poems. So that's lyric. That's basically lyrics, and you can
Yeah,
sing. So
that's
just
music. Yeah.
put it
Find a
together."
way, man.
And I was just like, I don't
It
know,
must have
and I
been
didn't
hard.
think. It was difficult, but then I cracked it when I couldn't sleep. I had insomnia for a good 9 months. So I couldn't sleep. And the songs just kept coming. And I learned a few chords and it just kept coming. So I wrote, I remember, you know those, what do you call them? Like a 72-page, you know those flappy books, those floppy ones.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, we used to use them at school at some point. I think I wrote like 3 or 4 full of those, of songs. My poem books were a lot.
No.
It's quite a bit. Just some good, some terrible, but
Yeah.
it's always a thing I do. So I'm always writing, but I'm not always like sharing my writings. And I had like
Oh.
7 or 8 when I used to keep them, 7 or 8 hardcovers. You know those 200, is it 44 or 88 pages? Those books, those
Okay.
thick hardcovers
Yeah,
of poems.
I see them. But how do you know
Full
you're
of.
improving if you don't share?
Sorry?
How do you know you're improving if you don't share?
It's not a matter of it sharing for the sake of sharing. You know what I mean? I mean, at that time, I didn't post my stuff online or anything. It was just for me, and it was a place for me to share my emotions, because I wasn't. And I feel like this is a thing that a lot of Black people and people of color don't get to do, is to share their emotions, like, and feel safe about crying. We're told to keep quiet quickly. It's like,
Mm,
as soon as you start
yeah.
crying, but tula 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 quickly, and it doesn't give
Yeah.
you the space to fully feel what you're feeling. You know what I mean? And I feel like it's
Never
especially
really.
a pandemic for boys, because there's this idea that a man has to be angry, and that's the only emotion he's allowed to have if he's not happy. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
he can be sad, but he can't cry if he's sad, because it's not masculine. And I don't know what that means. It must stop in
Nah.
my. I feel like it's toxic. But yeah, so I also just didn't cry at the time, because it didn't feel safe to cry. I didn't
Oh.
feel like I'd be heard if I cried. You know what I mean? So I wrote, and that was just for me to get my feelings out, instead of bottling them up and them hurting me even more. So initially I just wrote for myself, and people at school found, like, there's this friend, you know those, I don't know if you understand the concept of sitting taxi at school,
Yeah.
when you have, you know, that one seater desk, that one,
Okay.
and there's a
Yeah.
lot of you in that. It's space for one person, but you're sitting taxi, so it's
Yeah.
like,
Just one.
at least, you know what I mean? So there's like 2 or 3 of you in that desk. So one of the boys I used to sit next to, I used to sit next in class. It was weird. He
Yes.
knew I wrote poems. So as soon as I dropped my bag in the morning at school, he'd look for my poem book to see if I wrote anything else. And I'm just like,
Yeah.
at this point, do you want to come with me to the bathroom? Because, like, you just scratching my stuff. But yeah, so he let people know I write poems at school, and then I added a couple in the school newsletter, and that's how people got to know I wrote poems. So it just became a thing from grade 10 right through to matric. So that was
Yo.
it. To answer the question. Yeah. So I've been writing poems since that time. And then he'd just go through my bag to look for the poem book, and that was the one with no cover. And he'd read my poems and check for a new one and share it.
Okay, according to you, like, what is the most fulfilling thing about like poetry?
It's a way to express myself, and it's not so different from music, but it's my teacher. 2, it is my practice place. And 3, it is a place where I can express myself. And it used to be a place where I used to hide. Like my poems used to be super coded, but now I don't feel the need to hide anymore because I don't care, if I'm honest. But like, yeah, so it gives me a space to express myself in a way that I can't speak because I don't consider myself a good speaker. I feel like I write better than I speak. So, yeah. And it's open to interpretation. It's out. Shoot me if you want to shoot me. It's fine. Wouldn't care.
I just beg to differ, but yeah, I'll allow you
What
to
do you
have your
make here?
freedom.
What do you think?
You speak so profoundly, like your poetry speak for itself. Like if people are
But that's
like
the thing.
relating to this is well.
But the thing is, like when I'm speaking with you with my mouth, that's one.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't think I'm as good as my words when written. That's what I mean. But anyway, it's okay.
Yeah.
We can
Okay,
have
okay,
differences in
okay.
opinion.
I get that. I wouldn't
Yeah.
know like until that much, like for now. Yeah, but yeah.
Yeah.
So like, do you still perform poetry or do you just now perform music only?
I don't think like I've ever gotten into a place of serious poetic performance.
No.
I'm still open to the idea, but I'm also not um diligent enough to pursue it. I don't really
No,
know the
okay.
kind of spaces to perform the poems. And whenever I want to perform poetry, people want me to sing. Anyway, you know what I mean?
Oh,
So I put the poems in. I put the poems in between my songs on my albums, and I'll perform them on stage, I guess. But like a serious poetic performance, I've not done, and it's something I do want to do. But I need to DIY that one. I think.
yeah.
Mm.
So like, here's a question before I move on to something else. Do you produce any deep house beats? Okay.
Do I produce? No. There's just so many great producers. I don't produce any kind of music, just putting that out there. I think it's a thing I want to do, but then I just listen to all of the incredible producers in the world around me. And that's just in South Africa. I'm not going far. I'm not even going to bother looking far. And they're so good. And I'm just like, they want to work with me, so I'm not going to say no. It's just
But you're
easy.
international already.
This is true, but I'm just saying, just like I'm in South Africa anyway. It's not to say that I don't
Oh.
get requests for stuff, but yeah, there's just so many incredible producers around me that I feel like why am I wasting my time? Just plug into them because I'm not good enough. You know what I mean? Like if I were a
Okay.
producer coming to CEO, I'd be like, nah, I'm not good enough. No way.
Lack of confidence. Let me read out like a few comments and then like move to the next thing.
Cool.
One saying this little is saying I love you, CEO, and then Crescendo again saying looking forward to seeing you in the club at the club actually. So someone saying you are really low key. I listened to your music for so many years. Let me I can't get it right. Okay, I can't get it. I can't get the whole of it. But yeah, speaking about like they listen to your music and it's great. Yeah.
Thank you.
So like yeah, moving on. So like yeah, I want to talk about modeling. Like when does it come into picture?
Modeling came into picture when I was 19. Somebody thought I was cute. I'm like, you funny. because I didn't think I was cute. But somebody thought I was cute, and I did. They invited me to do a campaign for a big South African hair brand at the time. And I was just like, are you sure
Oh,
you want me? Like, me? No.
yeah.
Really?
You're
And
not
they did.
confident as well.
No. I mean, I think it's still a thing I'm working on, my confidence, if I'm honest. But yeah, so that happened, and then I did a string of hair shows. And then people thought I was tall enough and slim enough to do like runway modeling. And I was in and out of it because as much as I love the work, and this is almost like in every area of my life, which is something I actually need to think about a lot more. There's a lot in modeling that I loved, and there's a lot in modeling that I hate. And I did not like at the
Okay.
time that when I was 19ish, so right at the beginning, everybody was gravitating towards the colored girl with the locked hair, you know, that beautiful loose curl. Or they wanted a super white girl and she needed to be blonde. Or they wanted a super black girl who looks like she's dipped in like black coffee, you know, those beautiful Sudanese
Yeah.
girls. So those were the girls that were getting the work all the time. And I'm like, guys, I'm wasting my time here. So I left it for a
Yeah.
very
What
long
am I
time.
doing?
Yeah, like, what am I doing? So I left it and I went
Yeah.
to go study theater. And then after that, people are like, you cute. I'm like, oh gosh, we're doing this again. Okay, what do you mean by me being cute? And I got signed to a character agency, and that's more about just adverts and not being like a pretty model person going to like fashion kind of work. So you get into a whole open field of adverts, and that you can be any size, any color, any shape, from any background, any age. I was like, okay, cool. And then I ended up right back in the high fashion modeling because people thought I was cute. I mean, eh. So that
You're
happened.
cute though.
Thank you. But so we did the modeling thing, and I really enjoyed the work. It's surrounded by incredible people, um, and creatives who have incredible vision and incredible talent and skill and work hard at, and it's hard work. You think it's easy to just sit and take pictures, but just like everyone around you and everything that goes into that production is incredible. Like that it's a lot of work, and there's a lot of preparation that goes into it, and there's a lot of work that goes into it afterwards, and there's a lot of work that goes on to you. Like there's makeup and there's hair, and it takes ages to do, and those people are skilled at what they do, but it's still a bit of a nonsense industry because it's got its demons, and I don't want to go into that because it'll take up the rest of this interview because it's that much. But
Okay.
yeah,
Okay, so like let's do this. Let's jump into like what people really know you about in music. So like
I mean,
you say you've been singing in choirs. Like when was that and how old were you?
like from small, man, like I was in. When did I sing in my first choir? Grade 2. I mean, I never went to crash. You know what I mean? I
Yo.
wasn't the kind of child that went to crash. But like there in the back, they're like, she's tall, put her at the back. Can you hold a note? It's fine. It's cool. And then again, like the next year for another choir, and we had a very serious choir master. But again, they wanted the big voices, and they wanted the girls with the, you know, I don't know how to explain this, but in the colored community, there's also a thing about being colorist and colorism.
Okay.
So
Okay.
they tended to like the girls that looked lighter with the longer hair or the straighter hair and the green eyes or the light brown hazel eyes, and I was too dark. As a black person, I'm light. As a colored person, I'm not. Do you understand?
Oh,
So
between.
there was a pushing and a favoring of the light skinned in that space as a child, and then let that go. Learn songs, would record them, play them, sing them when I was bored and had nothing to do, if I wasn't drawing on the wall somewhere in the backyard or playing by myself or whatever. And then I think I got sick for a while. I had like a swollen brain and I couldn't really go to school. So I joined the
Okay.
church choir. I went to church a lot that time, and then at church they sent out a call saying they wanted kids for the youth choir. And I was like, okay, cool, I'll join.
Yeah.
And there's a nun and Uncle Taka. I think they're both late now. So Sister Teresa and Uncle Taka made me sing. And I like to sing in what you would recognize as like my low voice now. So that would be my tenor tone naturally. And they're like, no, we want you in soprano. And I'm like, yeah, that's high.
Cool.
Because I wasn't used to it. I hadn't been trained or whatever. But then we sang, and I got to sing in front of the church this for a very important service. And everyone in the church is like, oh my goodness, you can sing. And I'm like, very shy, very uncomfortable, very awkward with the attention. I was like, oh, this is weird.
And it gave you confidence.
Kind of, but it was okay. So sang in front of the church, and then that happened. But I didn't think anything of it still, because again, everybody gravitated. Then a few months later, this girl came through, and she's got like, her voice is a mix of a Beyonce meeting a Whitney Houston, even in the tone, and then also in the way she can throw a voice is the same. So it's big, and I'm like, and that she just took over, and all of the songs were hers. And then I'm like, I can't sing then. It's a sign. I can't sing. It's fine. You see.
And then you went back to the corner again.
Exactly. I went back to the back line in the back.
So like, how does it come about for you to end up working on Project 5, Project X? I don't know. Like, let me just say Project 5 for now.
Yeah, so Project 5, initially when we were a band, Project X, because we're no longer together. So fast forward to the time where I picked up the guitar and I started writing songs, because you remember we had that discussion earlier. So at the time I had a friend. I have a friend. She's back. So she's got this beautiful husky alto voice, and she can sing, and it's incredible. But she doesn't want to sing. That's her thing. It's not a thing she wants to do. She can do it, but she doesn't care about it. You know what I mean? It's like, you know. So she just wants to be medicine. She wants to be a doctor. So that's her path. I'm like, so she met with these guys, and they done a song, but she didn't like it, and she's not necessarily a songwriter. And at this time, she knows that I've been writing songs and poems for ages. I just about graduated from the Market Theatre, from drama school, and I was at home playing with my guitar and writing songs and stuff. So she one of the guys that she'd worked with for this thing, the song that they done, got in touch with her because he just made a beat. His name is Stephen B. He's still making beats, stunning beats. And he had a beat, and his friend Jabu had a mic. So we took a walk. So she introduced me to his name, to Stephen, and Stephen and I took like a 20-minute walk to Jabu's house, and we recorded a song called Love Mirrors. I think it was on a Thursday. We met again on the Saturday, and then we finished the rest of the Short Encounters EP. And then quickly that got signed to Peng, but we had to wait like a year before that was released. And then in the meantime, we did. So two of the guys from that group, so Jabu, and I think his name was Tabo. Yeah, Tabo made a couple of beats together, and they made a band or a group called Marubini Music. And they asked me to do 2 songs from there. And I did, and they got signed to FOMP UK. And those 2, I think Dance After 12 got remixed by Pablo Martinez and Luca. And then
the legendary. Wow.
So that from there,
That's how
everything is okay. Sorry?
That's how you knew Luca.
Yes, he reached out a few weeks after the release of Dance After 12. So that's what, 2013? Yeah. It's
Yeah, back there.
it's back. Ooh, guys, I'm old. Yeah,
Okay.
so back then, so back then he reached out and he's like, are you the artist are you the voice for the Dance After 12 song? I'm like, yes. And he's like, did you write the lyrics for that? I'm like, yes. He's like, can I please send you a couple of songs or beats and then you write to them? And I was like, okay, cool. And then the first song Luca and I did, he sent me a batch of songs and they've been released over like a hell of a lot of years in between. But he sent me, it was Robots Talk. Um, it was Next to You. There's another one I can't remember that we had done. That was in
Okay.
that first batch. And they got released years apart. But anyway, so I did Next to You, and I was nervous about Next to You because Next to You had no chorus. But I was like, it's fine. It's good. And he liked it. And then, yeah.
Next to you is the one that like Charles Webster made it up of, right?
Yes. It's got a remix by
Oh,
Charles Webster. Yeah. Very quickly, I was like, what is going on? Like, he sent me a message to say, Charles wants to work with you. I'm like, don't talk nonsense. No, there's no way.
what?
I was doing a very terrible job at Game, of announcing
Okay.
the specials in the shop.
Okay.
Because it was rough, and my mom got really
Yeah.
sick at the time. So I had to be the breadwinner, and there's no work for an artist. So I was like, ugh, what am I gonna do? And I got this job, thank the grace of the Lord, the universe,
Yeah.
to take care of things at home. And then at the desk, and I hated this job, so I had to do it every weekend. So at the desk, I get an email from Luca saying, Charles Webster wants to work with you. I was like, no, you're talking nonsense. So it's like, can I give him your email address? I'm like, okay, let me see. Give him. Half
I'd
an
be
hour
crazy.
later, he emailed me, and I was like, wait, what? Back in 2015, yeah, 2014. Actually, yeah. Wow, it's crazy to think that I know Charles that long. But yeah, around 2014, 2015, he sent me the ideas for the songs that ended up on his album, the second one.
Yeah.
And yeah, we had a
The unreleased one,
sorry.
like the one that took years. Is it released like now? I'm
Yeah,
not
he
sure.
released it in 2020. Yes, he released it in
No.
20. Yes, that's how long ago those things. It took years for that album to get done.
Okay, I gotta check it out. Okay, thank you. I thought it's
No,
not out still.
yeah, no,
Damn.
it's out.
Okay,
Yeah,
tell
it
me like
took
what impact did like working with such a legend have in your career?
it gave me. It was hard initially because I had to do a lot and take care of a lot, and there's a lot of things in my personal life that were falling apart. So all of the things, I don't know, it's like having a car that you trust and suddenly it starts breaking down and you have to fix this thing, and then as soon as you fixed this thing, something in the engine breaks, something, then you fix something in the engine and something else breaks in the undercarriage. So it's always like that's how it felt like. I had to fix a hell of a lot of things. So I didn't have the time to really appreciate what working
What
with
was it?
Charles Webster meant, you know.
Yeah.
Until a bit later when I felt safer and I had a job at the time. I was working at a production company. And I was making money so I could look after the house and pay the bills and keep us all fed. And I was like, okay, what does this actually mean? And I didn't see the impact of it uh, until we released the songs and what that meant. But at the same time, just meeting him was incredible because he's such a fun and bubbly and kind and sweet human being. And I was also surprised. I expected him to be, I don't know what I expected, but he was so nice. And it felt like he wanted me to be a part of his world outside of just making music. And I was lucky that he thought that of me, that we had good vibes together. But I think, yeah, so I saw the impact of it after a while. But then there's also so much that happened in between very quickly that made me go, am I awake?
Yeah, yeah,
Is this happening? You know what I mean?
yeah.
Wait a minute.
What's happening now?
Yeah, and
You,
it was quick, man. It was him, it was Julian quickly, and then after Julian
yo,
and I did 1,000 memories. To think I can call Zion my friend, man. I'm just like, I grew up to Rico Deep. What do you mean? What do you
it's
mean?
crazy. What's going on?
What do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean? To think that I can call you my friend now, and I'm walking into a radio station and there's Zion. You're like, wait, we're on the same album. And he knows my song and I know his, and I'm like, what's going on? You know, and he's also an incredible human being. It
Yeah.
was just,
I mean,
yeah,
like, your life is
very
crazy. Like,
deep. It's
when I look at,
mad.
like, your bio is filled with people like Kid Funk, like, Charles
Crazy.
Webster, Zion. Like, yo, it's crazy. It's really
Crazy.
insane. And, like,
Crazy.
in a very short space of time. Like,
Like, and then right after Julian released his beautiful debut album, Late Dreamer, that I'm fortunate to be a part of, my song gets chosen as the single. I'm like, what do you mean? And then after that, I get remixed by Ocean Lade, Fred Everything, Charisma, and Ed Jazz. I was like, it's fine, I can die now. It's alright. You can take me, Lord. Because
yo,
how did that happen? Like,
yo.
what else am I going to do?
What else are you?
Like, what else am I going to
That's
do?
the
After
attitude.
that, it's like, I've achieved everything in life, Mus. It's fine. You know? But that was incredible. So, super blessed about that.
Crazy, man. Like, I don't even know where to start. Like, work with crazy people, you have crazy songs. And, like, the crazy thing is, like, 1 minute you were unknown and going through the most, and the next minute, like, yo,
And it also
shout
just
out to
takes
God.
it took time to get to a place where I could trust that music would take care of me. So it's not just
Yeah,
something I had faith in initially, because as children of single parents, or as a child of a single parent, and it's not that my mom ever did put this pressure on me. She never. She was always very, very generous. As much as we fight and want to throw each other through the window, my mother always gave me the freedom and told me, my child, don't be like me, who only had two options as a woman of color during apartheid, to either be a teacher or a nurse. You have the freedom to be absolutely everything you want to be, or anything you want to be. Go and do what you love, so you never feel like you're working. That's the greatest gift my mother's ever given me. So I didn't have the pressure
wow,
to become a doctor, to feed the family, or do any of those
yeah,
things we have to do
yeah,
as black children, be an engineer or whatever, to take care
nah,
of everyone. So from the gift my mother gave me, it took a while to have faith that music would feed me, because I also grew up in a world that told me that music is a hobby, and music is not a thing that
yeah,
can be taken seriously, unless of course you're a mega star. And what are the
yeah,
odds of you being a mega star? And it didn't teach me of the power and the weight of being an underground musician, whatever that means, or just not as popular as the radio artist, and that even in that space I can more than survive. You
yeah.
know,
You don't have to be like the mega star. Like,
I don't have to be
no.
a mega star, and I mean, I'm gonna
You just
be.
have to-
We know this. I'm a Grammy winner in my mind. It's just a matter of time before I have the Grammy in my hand. However,
Oh,
um, it just
prophecy of
takes time. I know. I must prophesy in myself. We know what we want.
Yeah.
We know where we're going. And it took a while to get to a place where I could dream that and feel like I am worthy of it, because
Yeah.
we have, there's a thing that I think poverty does to us. And growing up poor teaches you not to dream big, because you're scared that if you even think of hoping for something big, you're gonna get disappointed, and you're not allowed past here. You know what I mean? So I think
Yeah.
to dream and continue to dream is important, but no matter what that is. And I could change my mind next month. It's also fine. You know what I mean? As long as I've given myself, and I think we all should give ourselves the permission to dream.
Thank you. Wish you.
Mm.
You know, like there's some love here. You've been shown some love. So I know, like you can't see that side. That's why I'm letting you know that
Thank
people are
you.
showing you love. And
Thank
like
you.
this other Josi Poma, like he's showing you a whole lot of love. Like he seems to have been following you for some years. He's even saying used to go by the name of Black Widow. I don't know
I
if you wanna
used
go there, but
Okay, no, I let the spider go. I let the spider go because people thought I was a man eater, because that's all people know the black widow spider for. I like the black widow spider because I am a black woman, and black women are often not. And this is not just for black women, actually, but women in general. I
yeah.
need to feel strong. I needed to feel some kind of strength, and to ground myself in, not necessarily ground myself, but give myself a name that one rhymed with my weird first name that I cut down, so people would stop butchering. And I think that, like, I looked for an animal or a creature that was strong, but the female version was the stronger one and the leader. And I thought, okay, I can't call myself CEO elephant, because elephant that doesn't work. You know what I mean? So I thought of black
Yeah.
widow. I also like nighttime, and it's beautiful, and it's dangerous, and it's deadly, and that's what I want it to be. But then people are just like, yeah, you just eat men, and I'm like, wow, I let it
What
go.
the
I'm having
heck?
a conversation. I don't eat men at all. I'm like,
Let's move on. Let's move on. Like I won't be able to read all your comments, guys, but yeah, like I appreciate the laugh. So like I assume that you'd make like house albums from like in all of your project, or maybe most of them. Where does like the jazz, the soul come from?
It comes from my voice, and it comes from a desire to explore music and not just be pigeonholed. House is definitely a home of mine. It's the place, it's like home. But I also am in a space where I don't want to touch house as a vocalist anymore because of
Oh,
my experience with it. I feel like I need a break from it, and I'm having a very hard time creating in
what?
house music at the moment. It feels heavy, and
Oh,
I looked at it holistically, and I'm like, as much as I love this space is built for the producer. House music is built for the producer, and it is built for the DJ. It is not built for a vocalist. You visit it as a vocalist, and you do it out of love as a vocalist, and you do it out of a passion as a vocalist. And I guess you can grow to some extent, but I don't see how I win. And for me to win is for me to be booked at the same rate that a DJ is booked, and I don't see that happening. And it's not just for me as CEO, it is for anyone who's a singer in house music. I don't see any singers doing as much work as a DJ. And I'm saying, and I'll not even a DJ who is a DJ producer, but just the DJ. DJs are working a lot more than vocalists are. And the industry isn't geared to giving vocalists the same performance spaces and revenue streams that a DJ alone can get. I mean, how
oh,
many times, just as an example,
yeah.
and it's probably not the best example, but like, how many vocalists have you seen performing on Hit Refresh?
Yo, nah, I've never seen one. Like I only see DJs. I've never seen one.
I don't even want to go further. Like back when there were festivals, how many vocalists were on a stage.
Shout out Dawson.
Very few. Do you know
But
what I
like,
mean? So
when,
yeah, I
when you
need
get booked,
when I
okay, I would say like when you get booked, like okay, house songs are pretty fast to trend like in the country, right?
100%.
So like, does that not help you get gigs faster because you're gonna perform those
No,
songs?
no, not in my experience has not been the case. I'll speak
Or
for
is it in the
myself.
deep house?
Sorry?
Is it in the deep house sector only?
I don't know. I don't know. I'm not in any other sectors. I'm just in my bubble. And that's okay. But it's just like I've looked at it and I need to take a step away from it.
Oh.
And also, house music, as much as I love it, has very little respect for vocalists in that anybody and everybody, when I'm not doing a house song, will take my song and make it house. And I'm like, did you ask me? Or they'll take my poem and put it on a house beat and it was an a cappella. And I'm like, did you ask me? And release it without my permission and stuff. And I'm like, did you ask? So I'm tired of having that fight right now. So I need a break from it before I get to a place where I'm like, I hate house music and I never want to get to that place.
Because it's a beautiful thing. Like, yeah, I
It
understand
is.
that.
House music is just like, it's like having a fight with your mother. You know what I mean? And you're just like, I'm leaving home and I never want to see you again. I don't want to get to that place. I want to be
So,
able to
but
go
like,
back home.
okay, so I want to know, like, when it comes to jazz and soul, how's the market that side? Because I believe it's
I mean,
hard to get the same.
it's true. It is true, but there's a lot more gigs that I've gotten when I haven't had to do house. I also sound better in spaces that look after vocalists versus
Mm,
that look after
yeah.
DJ. Like,
Yeah.
because in a club, my voice gets swallowed. Personally, I don't know everybody
Yeah.
else, and that's for them to talk about. But like my voice gets swallowed, and it bounces off the space. So when I can't hear myself, I sound bad. And I don't like that about the infrastructure. And nobody's fixing it. And I'm like, okay, yeah, this is a battle I'm losing. When I am in a space for jazz, I know they're going to look after what I sound like. They're going to care about what I sound like a lot more than they do in a live setting for a house situation. So just that, just that for me makes me go, okay, I should go this way a little bit more. It feels safer for me.
Yeah, I understand. Like, and also like with your type of writings, you need like some intimate performances. Like, you need to be listened to because like you're spreading
Thank
messages. Yeah,
you.
yeah.
Thank you. And yeah, I mean, yeah.
You wanna say something?
No, I said, yeah, I was listening to you. I'll say after you said.
Okay, so like right now, are you working on any project?
I am. I'm always working on something. You'll hear it soon. And it's not house. And I feel like it's not going to be house for a while.
I don't want you to quit, but like, just I
I
understand
mean,
you, but like every once in a
I'm
while, you
taking
can
a
throw in
break.
some.
Like I'm taking a break. It's like, yeah, it's like I need to, when people say they need to quit sugar. I'm trying to think of what else people quit. Cigarettes. You can't no, cigarettes is a bad example. But I think sugar, like you say, no, I need to stop eating chocolate. I need to stop eating so much chocolate. You cut
Yeah.
down on chocolate, you don't cut it off entirely. So for now, I'm in a place where I need a long break before I look at singing on house again. It's like I don't know how many
You're not
requests I've got.
crazy.
I've got so many requests, and I'm like, oh guys, you send me a house song, I'm like, I can't. I can't. Every time I'm like, I'm so sorry, Jens. I'm so, so sorry. I love you. I think you're incredible people. I think the music you make is important. But because it's got that 1, 2, 3, 4 beat count, I can't. Can't. I don't know why. So
Yeah.
I'm in a place where I just need to step away from it a little bit and refuel my soul That may be a couple of weeks, that may be a few days, that could be years, and that's okay.
Like, okay, just so you know, like, people are like crying here. Literally, they want to break in the house. And I'm with them. Like, yeah.
I mean, you're still gonna have the music. You're still gonna have my music. It's just, I mean, a lot of people actually really loved what I did on subtexts. It's not to say that it's got no beat, no rhythm, and won't make you dance. It's just not house, and that's also okay. I'm just very grateful that music is built in a way that gives me the freedom to express myself wherever I want. And I've said this before. I'm a genre fluid person. It took me a while to come across the phrase, but I am genre fluid, and I don't feel like I should be the house vocalist only. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And as much as I tried to make house my own, the space hasn't really given me. And it's not to say that people haven't championed my cause or my, my ideas or my thoughts or my feelings. Everybody loves what I do, and I'm very grateful for that. But I just feel just the way it's just like me going to town and saying, I don't like how the Carlton Center is built. And people are like, yeah, but it was built long ago. So what are you going to do?
yeah.
You know what I mean?
You can't
So that's how it feels for me. Like I was there. I'm like, it can be, it can be improved upon. At least they're like, Mama, were you around when they put this thing in the ground? You know what I mean? So it feels similar right now. So I need to revisit house when I am in a better place.
Remember, I just told you that Jose Poma is one of the biggest fan. He is really heartbroken, but he's saying like subtext was really amazing, and he's thankful for it. So like I want to know like why should people save their money and data to stream and buy this new coming album? How different is it from any other thing you've done? It's not an album project.
I'm actually quite nervous to say this now. Wow. Yeah, actually, I'm like, my heart is racing. But
be brave about it.
I am gonna stay. I come so standard, don't stress. But like, I had a very hard time around subtext, and this album is in line with subtext. And it's from that time when I released it, because I wrote subtext as a girl in love, as Jose would know. I was a girl in love, and I was in love with a person who hurt me deeply, and who I allowed to hurt me because I saw that this was when they say it's going to end in tears, I could see it, and I stayed. So I also hurt myself deeply, more so than even he did. I hurt myself because I saw the nonsense coming and I stayed in it. So subtext. So at the time Subtext was coming out, I'm like, oh my God, how am I going to cope with this album? Because I wrote this love story for a person, and it's ended in tears.
Yeah.
So I had to change it a little bit to make me cope with it. But for the most part, it's a project. And at the time, I wrote other songs about how I was feeling. And I put those together with Dave Martian, and it's honestly from me by me. When you listen to an artist's work and you have like their favorite song, and for a lot of people from me, I've realized people's favorite songs are Anything I Do with Dawson, or 1,000 Memories is also a favorite of people. So people really love Forbidden, people really, really love Nobody Else.
Aquamarine.
But you see, you're the only person that likes Aquamarine that I know of outside of me. That's also one of my favorite songs on that album. But you know what I mean? But everybody's like got their favorites. And from me listening to myself as from me listening to myself as an artist. Just listening to myself as an artist, not as me, but listening to the project as an artist comparatively to everything else. I think it's my best work yet. Even as an artist. I'm like, yeah, this is the best thing I've ever done so far. For me, it may not be the same for everybody else, but me listening to
Yeah.
it, I'm like, what? I did that? No. No way. No
I like.
way. That's how I feel about it.
I don't know if
So,
I should say the quality also improved because you've been working with like the highest class of quality like your whole life.
lucky
So I
me.
don't know.
Lucky me. And like
You're the
also
most
Dave,
blessed.
yeah, super. Like, and Dave was such a wonderful musical teammate. Like when I broached the subject to him that I wanted to do an album, he pushed me in ways that I'm not used to, and
Mm.
challenged me in a way that I'm not used to, and it came out so unexpected. Like we thought we were gonna just make it a beat tape, and when we heard it again, we're like, wait,
Wait.
what? This needs to be an album, my friend. And he was just like,
Yeah.
nervous about it being an album because we didn't play by the rules. We didn't make it. We didn't follow formula. We didn't try to make it anything that I've ever done before. Both of us have ever done before sonically and as writers in both of our strengths. But I was just like, when I listen to it, I'm like, I'll take it, put it on my back, and I'll carry it as an album. And then you heard it
Yeah.
again, and it's like, yeah, no, let's go.
Yeah.
So yeah, from me, and even I think I'll speak for Dave, and he's happy to come on here and say why if he wants to. But it is for me and him collectively together our greatest work yet. I mean, what?
Oof. Oof. Wow.
From
I
him.
like that. I like that. When do
Yeah.
you anticipate it will drop?
It's coming in the winter, so it's quite soon. Just hang in there. We'll make the announcement soon. Soonish.
So it's almost there. Alright,
Almost.
so like I want to ask you something crazy then. What's the craziest thing that's ever happened to you, either on stage or in studio?
Ooh, wait, yeah? No, man, I don't wanna like the stuff. I don't want to talk about ugly stuff because we've already had a lot of like intense aspects to this.
Yeah.
But like the craziest thing was I did this concert. I was invited to do a concert for Tom Misch back in
Okay.
2019. Hey guys, hey. We only had a 5-minute sound check, and before that time, every time we did a sound check and we didn't go through all of the songs, me and Dave, it was a complete flop. So then when we went on stage for Tom Misch, we had a 5-minute sound check, and that was our best gig ever at the point. So I think that's the craziest thing, that worked out. And I was just like, I was going through like the
Damn.
documentary thing I did of my Tom Misch experience. But we literally had 5 minutes sound check, and they were like, bye, we're opening the gates. We're like, but we didn't even, yo! She's like, both of us were like, ah. On the
What
stage
did
this
we
side,
do?
what is going to happen, man? And
Ish.
we killed it. We
Damn.
killed it. It was the best. It
For
was
real,
one of
for
the
real.
highlights of my life. Sorry?
For real, we killed it.
We killed that show. It was one of the best ones ever.
So like, okay, I want to let you go. So I want to ask you like 5 things. Like,
Mm.
it's actually the lyrics from your songs. I just want to know if you remember, if you can like tell me which song it is. Okay?
Okay.
And some are from your poetries. And I'm gonna
Wait.
be very like, okay, like, I want you undress your soul from all that depresses it.
That's a poem. I can't remember the name, but that's from Subtexts. Which poem is it? I watch you undress yourself from. Which one? I can't remember the name. Like I never remember the poem names, but it's definitely it's not Gat. It's the opening poem after Yeah, it's a poem and subtext. Next one.
Okay, it's Raisins.
There you go. I was like, there's 5 poems on there. I can't remember which one it is, but it's a poem from subtext. So I'm not wrong. But yes, next one.
Okay. I'm in danger because I wonder what it is that you do.
That's reverse flight.
Yeah, thank you. Okay. Best reason to make sense of space, blinded by the spell-blinding nature of a beautiful face.
That's also a poem.
Mm-mm.
It is a poem.
Hey, that's a poem.
Isn't it blinded by the net? It's encounters.
No, it's got.
Ah, God. Okay, but it's from something. You see, I never know with the poems. But yes. Next one.
Okay, the last one. Okay. Salute to you, Queen. You are not afraid to scream that I'm here.
Oh, it's woman. You see, you give me songs. I know. What? That was for what's the last one? Come, read me the last one. There's one more.
No, I only wrote 4. So like now I have names that I
You
want you to
said
tell
5.
me like, how you feel about. So tell me how you feel about these 5 names and then we out of here. Okay?
5 names.
Yeah, you tell me how you feel about these people and we out of here. Okay?
Okay, cool.
The first one, Adjez.
Legend, bruh. Legend. He's an incredible music maker. Whenever I just touches something, it feels like it's never gonna age. It feels like it's gonna be. It's like, yeah. It's ageless. It's timeless. It can fit into anything. You pick up anything that I just did. What at the beginning of his career, and you put it on blast now. It's still incredible. So just legend.
Okay, let's move on to the next one. Julian Gomes. Julian Gomes.
He is such a careful and thoughtful music maker. He always takes his time. Like, I'm trying to think. He's like, those people who make embroidery. I don't know if you've seen, like they stitch things in carefully and they'll stitch in the details of something. That's what Julian's
Okay.
like one of the most detailed paintings in the
Master.
world. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's very and like it's down to the smallest freaking details. And he's
Yeah.
also incredibly funny. And I don't think people know that about him. Julian is a clown. But I think you need to meet him to see that he's funny. And it's quick. So if you're slow, you're gonna miss it. So he's amazing.
I never thought of that. Like he looks kinda uptight.
He looks serious. It's not that he's uptight, he's just serious, and he's got like his public face. And I'm at work now, so let's be serious.
Yeah.
Like he's funny.
I'll check out some documentaries. Maybe I might bump into something. So, the third one, Charles Webster.
Again, one of the most beautiful people I've met for his status. You know what I mean? He's another living legend, and he's like very warm, very inviting, and very aware of what it means to be an artist, what I face as a woman of color within music, what kind of places and platforms he has, and he's very careful with what it means to be a white man who's foreign in South Africa doing music in the country, and how that translates and transmutes. He's very respectful of us, our history, our culture, and where he is. So he's also just lovely.
Wow. Wait. These two, I want you to add also like the personal relationship, like what they mean to you.
Okay.
It's Kid Funk. Would you say Kid Funk?
Like he's the brother I wished for and I prayed for He
Oh
just
my
came
God.
as a tall white guy, and I met him late. But yes, see, I can't, like, if I were to tell you everything he's done, not only for my career, but for me personally, we'd need another 3 hours. Like, he is sweet, he's funny, he's protective, he's exactly what your dream big brother is to me.
Oh,
Looks
yeah.
after me, helps me look after myself, teaches me all the time, is quick to put me onto things. He often asks me to do songs for people long before things come out and people pop. He always,
Ooh.
like, if there's a cut, I'm at least a wheel on his cart moving wherever he's going. So I'm stuck and very grateful to be a part of his life. So yeah, big brother that I love dearly.
Couldn't have said any better. So like the last one is Dawson. Mm-mm-mm.
Dawson. Dawson is just like this. Again, he's incredible at what he does. I mean, nobody makes music like him. He's got a very special ear. And he's also quite sweet and actually quite shy. If I think he's not the kind of person who puts himself out there outside of what he does. He's very thoughtful and respectful of his craft and people, and very protective of himself and his space and his energy, which I also respect. I won't say much more on that part, but he's so easy to work with. Also, very quick to respond and share. And he's always, whenever I've had encounters with Dawson, and I haven't really had a lot of time with Dawson, so, but he is always joyful. So it's like walking into, I don't know, whatever the space is that makes you happy, like a field of sunflowers. That's what Dawson's like. I know that's super girly, and he's not super girly, but it's joy, and he's always joyous, and he's always happy. At least when we've had to engage with each other, it's always been good. And he's always super super loving and respectful of everyone I've seen.
I love that. Like
Mm,
it's good. Like when people say such things about you, man. So like this one is not in the five because it's kind of
okay,
special.
okay.
It's CEO.
Why do I think about, oh my gosh, why do I think about her? um
Both as an artist and a human being.
as an artist, I think she's got an incredible gift with words.
Mm-hmm.
um and it took me a while to appreciate what a special voice she actually has, because I know from personal experience that she
Yeah.
focused on the storytelling a lot more than her voice, and she didn't understand the impact her voice has on people. Just a voice, regardless of if she's saying words or not. um until she heard it, and she didn't recognize her voice because she hadn't heard the song in a long
Ooh.
time.
Ooh.
There's a song coming out with uh FKA Mash that CEO's done called Bumblebee.
Whoa. Okay, Mesh.
And she completely forgot. And she saw this video of FKA Mash playing the song, and she's like, "Who's that voice?" And then it hit her. She's like, "Wait a damn minute, that's me." And then it hit her because she didn't understand why people would always compliment her voice and the tone, until it hit her the way it hit other people. So she got to understand the uniqueness and the emotion her voice carries. What I think of Sio as a person, I think she's a goofball. I also think she's incredibly brave because she's not afraid to
Ooh.
tackle. Not to say that she's not afraid, she is afraid. And bravery is not the absence of fear, but it's more the ability or the courage to fight through or move through regardless of being scared. But I think she's
Mm.
incredibly brave in that she's she speaks her mind, she speaks her truth, whether you're in a corner or not. And the fact that she's doing that at least gives other people the courage to do the same in some sense, and at least
Yeah.
champion her and stand behind her, even if it's weird. She's never done anything controversial, but she does tackle intense subjects, even in her work, and she's not afraid to do that. Maybe she is afraid. I'm not gonna lie. She is afraid to tackle these intense subjects, but she will do them regardless because they're important to her to share and make people aware of. And because she has the love of so many wonderful people because of what she does, she always hopes that if you hear CO and you like CO enough and you like what CO does, that your respect for CO and what she's talking about will be transferred to everybody else, and that you'll treat people with the same sort of love and kindness, because that was the purpose behind the Features album, to bring to light intense things and make people look at themselves, and if they see a woman in a compromised or scary or life-threatening situation, they could think, CO said this in woman, so let's not let this happen again, you know. So yeah, she's a goofball, she's a clown, she's got a lot to learn, she's got a lot to learn to love about herself, a lot of growth to do. She's a big dreamer. She's got dreams she has no idea how she's gonna get. But she's already living one of her dreams, which looked impossible. She makes a living from music, which is incredible. So she knows the rest of her dreams are just honestly a dream away.
Wow, man, that was so profound. Like, yo, I've never had such an answer on this show. Like, like yo, cheer out.
Thank you.
So, like, Dawson here saying, like, he appreciates you for your kind words.
Oh, what? Guys, who's on here? Like, hectic people. Okay, thanks, Dawson. Sorry
Yeah,
for
like,
calling you
I
a
don't,
field of sunflowers.
you know, like, honestly, I feel like I should hit you up sometimes to discuss your lyrics because I feel like there are topics in there. Like, you have, like, said some things that I think people should really get to hear about. So, today's interview was obviously about getting to know you personally. So, I feel like maybe one day we should come back and analyze some things.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Just give me a heads up so I'm prepared.
All right, thank you. Thank you for coming through. I really appreciate you. Like, I wish you a beautiful career, and like this year may be like as blissful as possible.
Thank you so much, and same to you. Blessings with all of your work. Blessings to you, your family, your loved ones, and may you grow, whichever way that means to you, and be happy.
Yeah. Thank you. God bless. I'm gonna let you out.
Okay, bye.
And shout out to everyone for watching, man. Like, thank you for being here, for participating. Like, yeah, we out here. Yeah, she said she's working on something. There's a project coming through like in winter. Yeah, I should go ahead and check it out, man. Like, shout out. We out of here. Uncle Black, Conversation with the Stars, baby.